final of the women's coxless pairs. And here we have a battle within a battle, because Great Britain have qualified 2 crews for this final, and that's just the kind of boost that British women's rowing needs. The full lane order: lane 1 is nearest to the camera, that'll be Belarus, 2 very experienced oarswomen there. Great Britain 1 in lane 2. In lane 3, Romania. On the other side of them, in the white boat, Great Britain 2. In 5, Australia. And in 6, Germany. Interesting race, Gary.
Yeah, now we've got a good race here between the 2 British boats. It's a race within a race, really. Obviously, both of the British boats are going to go out to win, but the second British boat beat the first one in the heats to get through here, so they'll have a point to prove here, and they've got good speed in the early part of the regatta.
The Romanians in lane 3 have gone out with their customary fast start. That's characteristic of all Romanian crews. And here they are.
Romanians dominate. I mean, they're just so powerful. They're very well respected in the team, the women's team. Last year at the Olympics, they did very, very well. And again, you know, if you're lined up against the Romanians, they're in for a good race, and you're in for a good race too.
The stroke woman, Veronica Cochelea, is 31 in her 9th season, and she's been a finalist in virtually every year, in virtually every kind of boat. She's a former world and Olympic champion in 8s.
And you see now they've taken a good, they've started to move out, they're starting to take a lead, and you can see side on there, they're rowing nice and long, nice and relaxed, and they're confident. And as you say, the stroke woman is very powerful, very experienced, so she'll know what she's doing in the early part of this race.
Beyond them, a good showing by the Australians, Bronwyn Thompson and Brian Taylor. This is a new pair for the Australians. They have the reigning world and Olympic champion, Sterling Slatter, but new pair here. Now we can have a look at one of the British pairs.
And just compare them from the Romanian boat we've just seen side on to the British boat. A little bit different in the technique here. The Romanian boat a lot longer, a lot smoother here. British boat here tends to be a little bit struggling, as you can see, with the distance as well, and not coping too well with the conditions. Quite poppy water here.
They've had a lot of problems on the first 2 days with crosswinds. This morning it's come round a bit, and it's more or less a tailwind, so we might see some fairly fast times, but the water quite lumpy and not easy.
I think, over the last couple of years, British rowing, women's rowing, has come on quite strongly, but they're in a doldrum at the moment. This year they've got to change. They've had a few changes, finding new boats to go for, whereas the Romanians, they've got the same group of oarswomen, and they go out, they put good boats together, and they're consistent at the regattas.
Well, what we have here in Great Britain 1, Doc Blackie and Cass Bishop, they were in the Quad Scull in Munich in the first of these World Cup regattas. That's been broken down, and we have a pair and a double from it, and both have reached the final, so the reorganisation is showing some return. These are the Australians.
Okay, you see the boats are a little bit choppy here, so all the boats and the Australians are finding it hard to deal with the water. Not as nice as the Romanian boat there, that Australian boat. Still got good length. From behind there, didn't look as though they were as smooth as the Romanian boat. They're moving out again there. I think it's about half a length on the distance. Looks as though they've got it in control, really.
So Romania lead from Australia, and we should get a check time. Great Britain 1 rather. Looked to me as though they went through the 500-metre mark in 3rd place.
You can see the distances, huge distance for coxless pairs rowing here. Romanians and Australians out in front, and there is some distance behind the rest of the field, and that's the problem. That's the problem for the girls here. They're not going to come back on terms, so again, the British pairs are going to be fighting out between themselves really now.
So Blackie and Bishop in lane 2, Great Britain 1, Sue Walker and Lisa Eyre in Great Britain 2 in lane 4, all of them coming out of the British 8 squad from the Olympic Games.
Apart from Sue Walker, she was the spare to the 8, but again she was in the 8 in 95, so Sue Walker's got quite a bit to prove to herself and also to the rest of the team today. Again, very difficult water, but you see it's nice and smooth there in the Romanian boat. They're moving nicely off the back, the hands away, and they seem to just roll forward on the slide. They roll forward and pick the blades up, pick the water up, and the boat is just running very smoothly for them. You see the confidence, they're not really looking around, they're just rowing long and together, and that's just a nice side-on shot there.
Marina Snack, the bar woman, is 36 now, and Kochelaar also into her 30s, so Davydenko, rather, her partner, also into her 30s, so there's plenty of experience there. They'll have been through these kind of conditions plenty of times before.
Well, her and Redgrave have been around, I should imagine, the same length of time. They're both up there getting on for their bus passes, although I shouldn't really say that about Steve.
Davydenko, the stroke has been in the 8th for the last 4 years, and now 500 metres to go. Romania from Australia battle for 3rd place. There, I suspect we're looking at the potential winners.
Just see how the hands move on the catch. They just pick the blades up and then they move off the stretcher, off their feet, the legs going down, perfect timing. And that's the important thing in Cox's pairs rowing. It's all about technique. Steve Redgrave and Matthew Pinson, they show that power in Cox's pairs are very important for men's rowing, but in women's rowing it's all about good technique, good length. Nice side-on shot there between the British boat and the Romanians. You can see the Romanians, again, longer on the slide coming forward, longer on the length in the water.
So they come towards the spectator stands at the finish, 2,000 metres, the standard international regatta length, mile and a quarter. So Romania coming home, but Australia are being caught by Great Britain 1. Great Britain 1 can come through and take 2nd place. Romania are certainly going to take the maximum points from this Coxless Pairs final, but Great Britain, Blackie and Bishop have done extraordinarily well there, come through the Australians, so that's the order at the finish. Romania from Great Britain 1 from Australia. Good performance by the Britons.